You guys ready for Michael? Michael!
My mother had given birth to 8 children, and then she had 4 miscarriages in a row. The doctor told her, "You'll never carry another one." Well, my mother is very polite, but also kind of stubborn. So 10 months later, when my twin sister and I were born, she proved the doctor wrong. And boy, were we and my younger siblings glad that she didn't pay attention to that doctor. My mother is an amazing woman. She had the highest grade point average in her master's program. That's when she had 13 children ages 1 to 18 at home. But as amazing as she was as a student, she was even more natural as a mother. She was an expert at knowing, just intuitively knowing what people needed, what children needed, and meeting their needs. For example, my brother Tommy didn't like chocolate chips. So instead of mixing the chocolate chips in the cookie dough, she would make several chipless cookies and then put the chocolate in for the rest of us. My brother Chris, born on December 25th, my mother intuitively knew that his birthday could get caught up and just washed away in the whole holiday season. So she instituted a half birthday, celebrated in late June, so Chris would have his own special time, his own gifts, his own cake. You know, my mom was so focused on this that, like, at Christmas time, she would have this rolling spreadsheet, huge spreadsheet, where she would document every gift that she had bought, who it was for. So this was like her children, our spouses, grandchildren. Everybody had a name on there. She had every gift on there, whether it had been wrapped, whether it had been mailed, whether it had been put under the tree. She also wanted to make sure nobody felt more loved or less loved than anybody else. So she documented everything that she got to make sure everybody had the same number of packages under the tree. She even had this gift-giving algorithm. So every year there'd be like clothing, one thing that was special for you, very practical, that only a mother would know that you needed, and one thing fun and unique just for you. You know, she even kind of found a way to deal with the needed economy for a family of 16. So every day she made us lunches. We made sack lunches, and we learned there were 4 food groups: sandwich, fruit, crunchy, Doritos or chips, and dessert. And the sandwich often consisted of a single slice of thin Carl Buddig brand meat. I used to complain that the layer of mayonnaise was thicker than the layer of meat. But you know, my mom could find a way to feed all of us kids with one package of meat. And it is an astonishing gift of love to think that for well over a decade, she made up to 10 sack lunches a day, every school day for the entire year. Well, late December, my mom just started having a little difficulty breathing, so they prescribed an antibiotic, and it wasn't getting better. So 2 days later, she went to the hospital. Now, at 90, with diabetes and congestive heart failure, you know, it's better to be safe. A week into being in the hospital, she wasn't getting any better. And the doctor suggested dialysis. Now, my mom had already said, "I don't want any more needles." But the doctor stood there and looked at her and said, "You know, now there is a port we'd have to put in, but the dialysis itself is not painful." And I knelt down and I grabbed her hand and I said, "Mom, there's nobody here, none of your kids, none of the doctors, nobody but you and God know how much pain you're in. None of us knows how much energy you still have left. Now, none of us wants you to leave. We'd like to have you around for a while longer. but only you know if you're ready to go, and we don't want you to stay if you're suffering. Do you know what you want to do?" And hoarsely, she spoke, and we thought she said no, but when we listened really close, she said, "I don't know." Well, the doctor looked perturbed. He wanted a yes or no answer. How do we get on with this? And eventually, she said, "Okay." Well, the dialysis seemed to work. The first dialysis treatment, they took 8 pounds of fluid, and she started looking better. Her color was better. And so most of us kids left the hospital that night about 10 p.m. At 3 a.m., Chris called me. "Mom didn't make it through the night." I was groggy. I was just waking up, and I was trying to complain. No, the dialysis was working. I was telling myself, but I knew. Now, Mom had been ready to die. She wasn't eager for it, but she'd been ready. I asked her the day before she died if she wanted to talk to a priest. She said, "I've already talked to 2 priests." She was so prepared. Not only had she picked out a casket and prepaid for her funeral, but every picture and furniture in our house, on the back of it, in Sharpie, has the name of who is supposed to go to. The attorney said he had never sent out 79 copies of the will before because every child and grandchild and great-grandchild and great-great-grandchild had a copy of the will because she had given something to them. We knew she was ready to go, but we weren't ready to let her go.